What are you avoiding when you scroll? Because nobody talks about this. Every conversation about scrolling ends up in the same place. It's an addiction. So it's about dopamine, it's about the big tech who designed it to be addictive. It's about putting the phone in another room so you won't feel the need to touch it. And to be fair, I am one of those guys too. If you follow the channel for a bit, you know that I am one of those guys who recommends this kind of stuff. Just design your environment in a way that benefits you and your focus. But what if the phone is not the problem, but it's the solution to a problem that you have in your own life? So the question you need to ask yourself maybe is, what problem am I trying to solve by scrolling? Most people say they want to remove distractions. But what if they don't actually want to remove distractions? What if distractions are just what we use to escape, what we fear the most? So in this video, I'm going to give you a deeper perspective on this. And I'm also going to tell you a practical fix. So let's get straight into it. And if you don't know me, I'm Danny Nova. I study psychobiology and I coach people on how to enter a flow state like this. In a famous study at the University of Virginia, they put people in a room with nothing to do for 15 minutes. No phone, no book, no nothing. So they just had to stay in the room for 15 minutes in company of their own thoughts. So they could sit quietly, or they could press a button that inflicted them a small electrical shock, which is pain, obviously. 2/3 of those people consciously chose to self-inflict the shock at least one time in the experiment. I repeat, 2/3 of those people preferred inflicting the shock over staying with their own thoughts. What if your phone, when you pick it up for scrolling, is the shock button? What if every time you pick it up without intention, you're choosing to press the button because you're scared of the alternative? Because the alternative, sitting with whatever you are experiencing at the moment, feels worse than that. And of course you might reply that scrolling is not painful in a physical sense, but it is for sure in a spiritual sense. Otherwise you wouldn't feel guilty for doing it every single time. You know you're wasting your life. So it's a spiritual pain rather than a physical pain, but psychologically it works the same. It's the mechanism through which you escape what's uncomfortable about your life and yourself. So ask yourself, what are you avoiding? And it's almost never what you think. Most people assume it's boredom, but oftentimes it's not. It is usually one of these three things. The first is a specific task or action you need to do, but you don't want to do. And this is kind of boring, I know, but how often does it happen to you? You need to write an email, you need to do a conversation that you don't want to do. Just like in your daily life, how many tasks you don't want to do? And how many times when you don't want to do something that takes just 5 minutes, instead you pick up your phone and you start scrolling. It's not even intentional anymore. The second one is just an underlying emotion, a vague sense of anxiety, of discomfort. It might just be something you feel for a moment, but instead of just feeling it and letting it go, you prefer consuming something that distracts you from what you're feeling. People are so disconnected from what they feel that as soon as something arises, something negative arises, they drown it in the noise of scrolling. And the third one is the most spiritual one, and it's the one least discussed about. It's just that you are avoiding silence. Why silence? Because silence reveals the truth. Because questions can arise only in silence. If you're drowning in noise, you can't ask yourself questions. Questions like, what do I want to do with my life? Where am I going? What do I value? What do I care about? These type of questions need silence to arise. So if you keep drowning yourself in the noise, you won't ask yourself these questions. And this might make you feel good in the short term, because these questions are indeed uncomfortable, because answering those questions takes a lot of courage. But in the long term, if you keep avoiding answering these questions, you'll build a life that you don't actually want to live. Now, since this is a channel about psychology, but specifically about flow state, I'm going to tell you why this pattern will always make it impossible for you to enter a flow state. Every time you enter flow, you need to pass a certain threshold of discomfort. There is a literal discomfort phase before the flow phase. Like, you need to feel uncomfortable before you enter the other state. So if every single time you are working or you're doing something and you train yourself to, as soon as you feel discomfort, to stop it by picking up the phone or doing literally anything else, you are literally telling yourself that the discomfort you feel has no reason to exist. But it has a reason to exist, because as we said, it's the only way you can access a deeper state of focus and even a deeper state of spiritual enlightenment. If you always avoid what's uncomfortable, you always avoid what matters, because what matters is always uncomfortable. So you're training yourself to go away in the moment where you actually need to be there the most. Like, when things are easy, there's no need for you to be there. You're sort of developing an avoidance reflex. So every time you feel discomfort, you just avoid. So how do you fix all of this? Of course, put the phone in another room, because this might help, preventing the urge to open the phone. But it will happen sometimes that you stand up and you go reach for the phone. So what do? Before you open the phone, just ask yourself this: what am I feeling right now? Don't even ask yourself, what am I avoiding? Ask yourself, what am I feeling? Notice your body, notice your mind, notice your thoughts. And then ask yourself, what am I escaping from? And you remind yourself gently that what you are escaping from is literally the thing that will help you go ahead in life, the thing that will help you improve your life, the thing that, if you're just patient, will make you feel better. Because, and this is the last thought I'll leave you with, how could you ever be happy or fulfilled if you can't live inside your own mind? Like, modern technology has given us a completely new ability to not live inside our minds. Meaning, it's the first time in history when we can always be out of our minds. And this seems cool, I know, but you need a bit of self-reflection. You need introspection, because it will happen to you that you will need to stay inside your own mind. If you want to live an intentional life, you need to be comfortable inside your own mind. And if this sounds easy for you, then just try this. Just try living moments in your day when you're just left alone with your own thoughts. And I guarantee you that for most people, this is unbearable. And this is tragic. So if you want to fix this, every time you reach for your phone, you ask yourself, what am I feeling? What am I avoiding? And you gently remind yourself that discomfort is the way in which you go to a deeper level of focus and fulfillment. And guys, as usual, thank you for watching. And if you want more from me, you can check out my X or my newsletter. Both the links are down below. And if you want personalized help with all of these, you can schedule a call with the first link down below. And guys, as usual, I'll see you in the next one.